Well, this is quite concerning. I mean, she sounds completely different.
You have Monokuma, I have Toko.
She was acting kind of funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely disappeared.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
Not to mention, when she regained consciousness in Sachihiro's body again, she was utterly calm. In other words, within her is one personality that can't handle blood, and one that obviously can.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
I won't let Genocide Jack have control. I'll drive out the killer, drive out the murderous fiend.
The reason she locked herself in a room wasn't to keep others from getting in, it was to keep her other personality from getting out.
What?
Toko was afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her, of killing even more people.
How?
Yeah, how could you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't how can you know all this. No, what she wants to know is how could you tell them?
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave us his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She wanted me to
Yes.
She told me a most interesting story. She said she had a murderous fiend lived with... She said a murderous fiend lived within her. She was afraid it could appear and attack at any time. And that trepidation is what caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
This is a lie, right, Toko? You said you wouldn't tell anyone! What? You promised! I can't believe you lied!
You have only yourself to blame. You came with me to your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to. This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale. Besides, you broke your promise first. You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone. But in spite of that promise...
I'm sorry I couldn't keep our promise, but don't worry, never again. I won't let Genocide Jack have control ever again. You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me. That's the only reason I promised.
How many times do I have to tell you? I never said that. But you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing, could you?
I tried. I swear I tried to control it,
But your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
I hate you.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
Person? You don't mean...
Uh-oh.
Toko's body suddenly lunged backwards.
Unless this is probably voice 2.
A huge thud echoed across the courtroom, but in the next second...
Well, hello there! Is it me you were hoping to see?
Genocide Jill.
Just wait, because she's a girl.
Oh,
You
it's
just
Jack
said
and Jill.
Uh-huh.
So, they'll probably explain this.
Yeah, they will.
What the heck?
So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack. Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill.
What the fuck is this?
I'm so excited.
Toko, what happened to you?
Not Toko, that's a loser name. And what happened is a textbook split personality. So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's faults.
I like the face.
I know!
She's so intense.
Like they said, sound in murderous mind, sound in murderous body.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie. Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun.
That is the murderous fiend Genocide Jack. This is...
I apologize to all headphone users.
I'm so sorry. This is beyond insane.
This mic probably doesn't even work anymore.
Nope, it's dead.
Liz Jack, or Jill, could I ask you a question?
What's up?
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you, I am the mastermind masterminds. Just kidding.
Then it's not true?
Of course it's not true! How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid! And another thing, the police and government and society and the outside world are totally powerless. I mean, they just let this idiotic, bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town.
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people.
Fair enough.
It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for
I don't
everyone.
like that your tongue is that long.
I love it.
Just kidding again.
It's just that spraying.
I love it so much.
This should be enough to convince you this murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death. There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed. Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to figure out.
Huh?
But I can't imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Yes,
Yeah, I can never believe a word you say, you monster.
guys.
Hina, maybe.
Makoto, you might actually be the smart one.
Whoa, maybe she's totally right about that, but something's still bothering me. What she said. I need to get some more details about all of this.
Alright. Make your argument. Status of the dead body.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it? Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking.
When you compare your present instances, whatever. The modus operandi matches completely.
I want to try it. Yep.
Ta-da. No, that's wrong!
I was gonna say, is it scissors?
Scissors. Skizzers. She likes skizzering. Are the methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How's it any different?
Uh-oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you. I murder with passion and conviction.
I read this line in the line request last month. It was great.
I consider myself a professional and I have a very particular way of doing things.
I just read it as
did.
Gladys. This is my favorite line.
Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee.
I remember this quote.
This is no creation of mine.
I'm even blowing out my own ears. You haven't heard me scream. Let me rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one. There's one clear difference between the murders, and the photos from the other Genocide Jack cases look at the neck and stomach. Here you'll see a clear difference.
Not the style, it's the victim's injuries. Yeah.
For one, the cause of death is different. In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way.
Skizzers.
Scissors. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors. But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method? And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right. In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce.
No,
Yeah.
it's just like the face, but worse.
I love it.
That's not even a tongue, that's just like a pepper. She's just biting a pepper.
I love it so much.
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking?
So are you saying the other difference has to do with how the bodies were arranged?
That's right. The second difference is related to how she was suspended. In the photos of the other Genocide Jack cases, all the other victims are stabbed through their hands. Here you'll see a clear difference.
What was used to suspend her? This is a T-pose.
T-pose. Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used, some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrist.
Incorrect. It was not a rope.
It was not a rope, my brother. What is your point? Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them. Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
And guess what? I use my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement. Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else? Big Mac said there's 2 differences, but he's wrong.
Big Mac, are you referring to me?
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
Big Makoto. Big Makoto.
Big Makoto.
Huh? My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case. There's a pattern there just waiting to be discovered.
A pattern?
Figure that out and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Let's see. There was a pattern surrounding the Genocide Jack victims, and Chihiro didn't fit it. If you look at the names of every victim, what you'll notice is...
dudes.
I think I figured it out. I know I couldn't kill
Chihiro
Chihiro.
was her friend, Chihiro was a girl, Chihiro's a lover!
Lava. Got it. Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common. Ken Harada, 32.
We're not gonna read all
Yeah,
that
okay,
again.
yeah.
They were all guys?
That's right! The people I killed with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men! I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed.
Oh no.
She's a
The
fraternity.
hell is wrong with you?
I can't help it. I'm just the full throttle boy fangirl, and the mopey side of me just hates it. But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan, madame!
So since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
When Italian chefs suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles, don't be stupid! I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it, you clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy, but that's not all there is to it. It's a different matter entirely when you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lowly cur!
Lowly cur.
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message in the arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect.
That does make some amount of sense.
Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school.
Any scissors? I didn't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class, envy of the entire world scissors.
Okay, whatever, but still there still why? There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that?
She's just gonna hold some up, yeah.
Da-da-da-da!
She's fully equipped.
That's right! So I can kill anywhere, anytime! Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side? Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong! You can't, can you? Gutter dogs, all of you!
I love her so much.
Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot, so rope's totally out of the question anyway.
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah, that's why we figured it had to be the real
Yeah,
deal
except
and
the
not
one
some
person who
copycat
mentioned
killer
it.
or whatever.
That's right. Actually, hold on. There is one person. One person who could have copied the Genocide Jack cases.
Easy.
Easy.
Him!
Easy. Easy.
Monokuma.
Monokuma. I got it! Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem getting access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack files before this even started, didn't you?
Are you saying Mr. Tagami did it?
Then the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
So we rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I'd put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Ah, I'm on fire!
don't like that sprite.
I love that sprite. It's my favorite.
Well,
sprite.
Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me. Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
And the locker rooms, they're suspicious. Very suspicious indeed, wouldn't you agree?
Suspicious.
It seems nobody searched the locker rooms. Let's just start with the girls' locker room.
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
On the contrary, there's something very strange.
Okay then, what's so strange about it? Go ahead, share with the rest of the class.
There was a clear contradiction in what Byakuya just said. I need to make it clear to everyone. A new element has been added to Monster Division.
Why
Let's hear more. Next, we're going to add something called the Truth Flashback. If you aim at a weak spot and hold down the Y button, then you'll memorize that weak spot. This is so stupid and I hate this so much. This memorized phrase can only be shot once as a single truth bullet. If you shoot or change the truth bullet, it will disappear from your truth cylinder.
So when you...
So the highlighted phrases, what you can do now is you can essentially memorize one of them. So if Byakuya says something, and then later in the non-stop debate he says something that contradicts what he said earlier, or later
just
even
using what he said against
using what he
him.
said against him.
Okay.
Or even sometimes you have to find it and then use it when it goes back again to the
Okay.
beginning. However, you can use this flashback as many times as you want. If you don't seem to have the answer to a lie or contradiction or loaded truth bullets, it might be wise to memorize a different weak spot and use that to make
You
your
said
case.
hold Y.
Yep. When's the best time to flashback? Well, you just have to use your keen wits, won't you? I hate it so much. In this case, though, I will say that if you don't use a flashback, you won't be refuting anything.
See, my thing is, it's an interesting concept, and I like the fact it's like using what he says to contradict what he says, but like that's a kind of dumb way to do it.
Yeah. Well, then, good luck and have fun.
We'll see what happens.
It's stupid. They get rid of it in the next game. And they do
figured they
something
would.
different.
She's just sitting there, just
I know.
Monokuma file number 2.
I love her so much.
So you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
Correct.
Was he weird?
I
How?
probably should have just saved that and then replaced over it.
If you presented with the opportunity to check out the girl's locker room, you absolutely take it.
Fair enough, fair enough.
So how come you don't hate him? But you hate
I
Togo.
really hate him.
That's a natural reaction for any guy.
No, I extremely hate him.
Okay, the victim was Chihiro, who was a girl.
Okay, hold on.
So of course I would
should say
suggest we check the girls' locker room first. No time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that? Ooh, would you take me with you?
that. Okay.
Hearing Byakuya's comment about Chihiro being a girl, but it doesn't make sense how he could have known.
Oh, I
until
see.
made
Okay,
the
he was
connection
weird
clear.
before he found out the body.
Right.
Boom.
Yeah.
Before we found the body. And then you shoot that because it was before, so how could he know it was a girl?
Mm-hmm. I think you can go faster by pressing the
Phew.
No,
No, that's wrong.
break.
Break. I'll tell you what's so strange about that, because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was. So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting, very interesting indeed, but your reasoning is still too weak.
Huh?
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead, show us.
What's with Byakuya's attitude? It's like he doesn't even care. I've got him cornered, but he's acting like it has nothing to do with him.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is, I think. There is more to it. Think about it. We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh, proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
The differences between this case and other Genocide Jack murders. The evidence that proves Byakuya is responsible is hidden in there? What could it be?
I wonder.
I wonder.
I believe that's lamp.
There it is.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again? When I use to kill, I will use my very own special scissors.
Yes.
And I used those same scissors to arrange the bodies.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope, was it not? That's right, it absolutely was!
Is it really rope?
Then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh? I've never seen that rope before in my life.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well,
Fuck.
Well done. Obviously,
It like. I don't like this control system.
There's eventually a or not truth book, but a skill you can get that steadies the aim of it.
Yeah. Like when you go up, it just goes. Okay, yeah, I know what I have to do. What? How do you skip it
I
again?
think it's either left trigger or it's B.
Yeah, it's trigger. Just take it. I'm not gonna do that one. It's- Thought it was the trigger, I guess not.
It's probably B.
Probably. Yeah, there is.
Oh, you got
Yeah,
it.
that's right!
You got it. You got it.
Just gotta flex a little on Byakuya there.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because you see that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time. Went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
Then Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this. I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message, intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
He's doing it again. He's totally calm, totally unconcerned. As if he's not even involved. Wait, not even involved?
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yeah, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya is the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
He kept calling us a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win!
See, now I'm confused.
Sorry, but can we hold on for just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
I know, but still. There's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Wait, what was that just now? Something's not right. Chihiro's body was definitely found in the girls' locker room, but does that mean... Can I really just accept what Byakuya said is the truth? No, I don't think so. There's definitely something off about what he said. Yep. You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? Are you sure about that? Is it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown. She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There's absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene? That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all that.
I believe I do. Hey Byakuya, did I just take you off guard? When the story suddenly moved to the crime scene, Byakuya had been so confident up till now. Maybe Byakuya never even realized that the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere else.
Hey! Don't just move on without permission! What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Evidence that shows the murder took place somewhere else. There was something that was switched between the boys' and girls' locker rooms.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes, why? That's right.
The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big boob supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would a girls' locker room have a poster like that? I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake! Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of a super popular boy band, Tornado.
Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room. So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched? And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura? You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein coffee?
Well, I was in the girls' locker room earlier and spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away. No, it's not that the stain was scrubbed away. It was moved.
Boom.
Boom. I got it. The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet. That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee. Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do that? To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think?
What?
In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime.
Was she a guy?
I don't know. Let's keep going. We'll see.
She was a guy.
She's not.
He was a guy.
I don't know, man. The bloodstained poster and carpet moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place. I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that? Huh? Why would they go to all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question, if the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place?
Boy.
And you thought he was waifu.
Still waifu.
Still waifu. To get in the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker rooms. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin
That
with.
explains why you laughed so much when I said it was waifu. Still waifu.
I've been having so much fun. You notice I've been mentioning waifu every time
Yeah.
she's brought up, and I'm just laughing my ass off.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up, I'm telling you. I know she could have done it.
Is he right? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow? Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys? No, I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook!
Oh, so they threw two, so I just assumed.
You think you have some proof the country
No, I don't. Hold on. They just threw two at me, so I figured it was important.
Is it really possible that she really got it? Oh, I got it! She was out of her
I'm just
e-handbook!
gonna eat those then. Nom, nom, nom.
No. She was the ultimate programmer after all. I'm sure that would have been no problem for her. No, I don't think that's it.
Yeah, bro.
She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Oh, he knew that too.
I know about it too.
Huh, what thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
No, I just want this.
She was in the boys' locker room, bro.
I want it. I wanted it.
Is it really?
Shut up, I know. Easy.
Easy.
No, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong. No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook. That's you.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess it'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up. Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
But of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then she must have hacked hers like I said! She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
Bzzzt. You can't fix any handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring.
So if she didn't use Leon's handbook and she didn't modify her own handbook,
Maybe Mr. Dayegi's initial assumption is just wrong.
It seems like there's no way she could have gotten into the boys' locker room, so I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya!
is that it then? Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room. Byakuya's the one who did it, really? But still, I don't know what else I can do. Hold on a second. I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's no way she can get in the boys' locker room, right? So...
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
What?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry, this will make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought pleases you.
It'll make things more exciting. Well, alright then, I declare an official class trial recess.
Huh? For real?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?